It's just fucking. They just made it worse. Things they try and make it better, and they just don't listen to what people saying. 1-0.
Shut up, moaning.
How'd you go for the net?
That's what I was about to say for you, innit?
I've just been scoring fucking goals galore today, but fucking defensively this game's shit. Fucking where do you come from? This would be completely different though, because it's obviously a different game style play and shit. But oh bloody hell! How's your day been anyway?
Been good. Well, it's been alright. Stomach's been a bit. My stomach's been playing up all week, so it was affecting me this morning. I went to cinema with Rob this morning. Watched the film. We were going to go and see it again, but I hadn't eaten because of my stomach, and I was like proper hungry, so we decided not to. But went and saw the film.
I get quite hungry quite recently. Must be a winter blues.
Well, I didn't want to eat anything. I wanted to try and do what I do at work. Don't have breakfast until near my break time at work. Sort of helps my stomach a little bit. Because I'm just feeling crap. And then, what the fuck? But yeah, just went and saw the film. Spent a little bit of time with Lou. Fucking cracking film though.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Almost perfect film. Basically, it's very You're gonna hit it, no? Okay.
Unlucky.
I tried to fucking hit it first time, but apparently not. It's very nostalgia. Like it virtually runs along the lines of A New Hope, the first film. It's very similar to that. Like they're going to destroy this it's like this planet size machine that's a bit like the Death Star, except it's basically built into a planet. Like this big weapon, and they basically.
So basically like a planet star.
Yeah, sort of.
A death
But
planet.
the main aim of the film is to find Luke Skywalker because he tried to rebuild the Jedi Order with two apprentices, and one of his apprentices turned to the dark side, which is the villain Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And he put himself in exile and hid himself because he blamed himself for the failure and him turning to the dark side, and that Kylo Ren happens to be Han Solo's son, Ben Solo. Yeah, but they're not together in the film because when Ben turns, because basically there's a hidden guy that's controlling the First Order, which is like the Stormtrooper people. It's gone from the Empire to the First Order. It's like the leftovers basically made their own army sort of thing.
Yeah.
Out of what was left. And basically the leader is the one that twisted and turned Kylo Ren to turn him on, to turn to the dark side. But it's slightly different, whereas in A New Hope, obviously Darth Vader is a fully fledged Sith Lord, and in this one, Kylo Ren is pretty much an apprentice still.
Gives it a different edge, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very nostalgia to the fact that obviously it's very much like A New Hope, but it is a very good film. Like it beats the prequels by far, and the new characters they introduced, you pretty much care about them quite early.
Oh, I like him.
I'm not even focusing, but I'm just trying to chat. But yeah, but the idea of the film is Leia, or they're called the Resistance. They're desperate to find Luke Skywalker, and a droid, which is that little rolling droid. He's got the final piece in the puzzle to know, like on a map, to know where Luke Skywalker has gone.
Yeah. And
they're desperate to find him to get him to help the Resistance, get him out of his exile, basically. And the First Order, Kylo Ren and that, they're actually after the droid as well to find out where Luke is to kill him. Then you get a death in the film, which is obviously to be expected. But the main character, because she's female, she's either going to be Kylo Ren's sister, so she's going to be another Solo, or she's going to be Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Ah, yeah.
Because at the end, obviously, she learns of her abilities, and she gets Luke Skywalker's lightsaber that he loses in Empire when he gets his arm cut off.
Yeah, yeah.
And when they find out where he is, she goes off basically to find him, and at the end, obviously, you see Luke Skywalker, and she hands him the lightsaber, and basically she's going to train with him. But he's basically going to be like the Yoda of the series. So it's going to follow pretty much like the original trilogy, if that makes sense. Whereas in the next film, you're going to find out who Rey actually is, the female, whether she's a Solo or a Skywalker, because she's one of them.
Oh, nice turn. I like
Come on.
That was a nice turn. Fucking
And yeah,
hell.
the guy controlling Kylo Ren, he was massive, but he was a hologram. And
Yeah.
I think, if you followed all 6 films, I think he's going to be the Emperor's master.
Interesting.
You know, in number 3, when he turns Anakin to evil,
Yeah.
and he tells him about, basically tells him that of Lord Plagueis, and he basically how Anakin was born was by Palpatine's master. If you follow the story, yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that when he learned all he knew, he struck him down, didn't he? Says he killed him. Now, in the first one, of Phantom Menace, you know, before Palpatine becomes Chancellor,
Yeah.
in that film, that Plagueis guy, or Lord Plagueis, his master, is actually alive. And they were using Darth Maul as a toy or a pawn. And then, obviously, during that film, which you don't see, obviously, Palpatine kills his master. But although the character doesn't quite look like Plagueis, obviously the guy playing him is the guy that does Caesar in Planet of the Apes, so he's a CGI character.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a lot of speculation whether it actually is that guy or whether he's actually a full-on new character, but he doesn't look like the guy, that guy, but he's got like a big massive scar across his face, because you only really see him as a hologram. It's like a giant hologram. But I think it's going to turn out to be him, because obviously, story-wise, that would make more sense. Because the film is still based off the Skywalker family, so you've got the original trilogy, which was Skywalker would bring balance to the Force. Whether that's Anakin or Luke Skywalker, it depends how you take it. But if you listen to the prequels, Anakin's not got a father. He was born a bit like how Jesus was supposed to be born.
Oh.
But if you listen closely, basically that Lord Plagueis, he became so powerful he could create life.
Yeah.
Which is what he done with Shmi Skywalker, who was then pregnant with Anakin Skywalker. So it would make sense that Plagueis knew of him and followed him greatly, wanted to turn him known how powerful he'd be, and it would just make sense in the new trilogy to finish it off with the one that actually made that family. Well, I'm kind of holding on hope that would be that and not some bogus story, but it's gonna it's gonna follow like the originals, like
What a shot.
Obviously in the story, basically, son finds out who his father really is and saves his father, brings him back to the light side.
Yeah.
I think this one's going to be the sister or the cousin is going to do the same. Like, so it's going to follow very similar to the originals, but it really works. It's one of them films that works in that way. And having the old cast mixed with a new one in the way it has,
Fucking, I'm playing like a beast today, mate.
just really fits. It was a really good film, to be honest. It's probably almost perfect. It's inch perfect, that game. That film.
Oh, we'll see it at some point soon. How long do you reckon that'll be shown for the cinemas for?
For ages. Saturday is all sold out. We managed to get tickets yesterday for Friday night. My brother's going Sunday morning again with like his family.
Do you fancy going just after Christmas?
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, I fucking love that film. It's brilliant.
Get some popcorn, yeah.
Oh, I can't eat popcorn, but you can.
Get some popcorn, I'll have it.
They sell like these, you know, like the Coke cups you get
Yeah.
for the drinks. They've got like solid ones of them, like Star Wars branding ones, and inside it comes with like this little Star Wars toy, which basically sits on the lid. I don't quite get why it's like that, but about £3 each. Rob bought me one. Rob bought us both one.
Jesus.
That film was so good. Like, some people didn't like connecting with the new cast in the prequels,
Yeah.
but this one, like, there's a bit of humour to it as well. Like the black guy Finn, because he's actually like he was born into the stormtroopers, so his name is like a stormtrooper name, like a code.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like what he sees when on his first mission, and he basically leaves and is a traitor and joins them. There's a bit more to it than that, but I won't try not to tell everything. But
Yeah, he just pretty much told me the whole story of it anyways, so it's fine. I'll get there, I'll be like, about to explain every bit of the film that's going on that I haven't seen. Like, yep, this is where he does this.
To be fair, me and they kept the story pretty much under wraps, but like some hardcore fans knew what was going to happen because they've scrapped what the books were.
Fuck, I've been punched.
Like they scrapped all the new books, or the books that were after the film, but they've kind of borrowed bits from it. Like in the books, Chewbacca dies, but he's not the one to die in the films.
Oh, you told me that.
Hmm?
God damn you.
But in the books, obviously the Jedi get rebuilt, and Luke Skywalker has a son, and Han and Leia have three kids, but obviously they're all scrapped. So the story now on is a little bit different, or different, but they've got hints. But it's a fucking good film.
Just can't get the bullshit now.
I watched the episode of Big Bang as well. That was fucking well funny.
You got to admit, I'm fucking on ball today, and all.
Played some good balls. But I watched that Big Bang episode where he sits there and they're like, oh, picking his nose.
Well, I told you about, yeah.
Yeah, what's that today?
Fucking funny. Hey, are you the guys? No, fuck off, fuck off.
When it when it comes back, you're gonna see Sheldon and Amy have hanky pankies. Well, not actually see them physically have hanky pankies, but
You just
they're gonna get physical.
I'm gonna get
Coitus.
just like the food. Oh wow. Just like the movies. Front post, yeah.
Well, that was definitely front post.
That's
I
right.
had to stand on the post that one.
What's a ball?
There's some funny shit in that Star Wars film as well. Like, oh, it's because it's got quite a humorous side to it as well. It's just funny when you see it. There's a few things of Kylo Ren are just fucking funny.
Kylo Ren sounds like a familiar name out of something else.
That's basically his Sith name. Bit annoying because in the books, like I was saying, that they've scrapped since since Disney took over. Luke Skywalker has a son called Ben.
Yeah.
And they decided, because obviously that's all scrapped, they were going to name the fucking first Solo kid Ben Solo. It's like, wow, really? Really? Just steal it?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because fucking Han Solo didn't really know fucking Obi-Wan, did he?
Yeah, that was exactly why Luke Skywalker names in the books, like the expanded universe, that's why Luke Skywalker named one of his son Ben, because of his mentor, like, Sir Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I just realised. I'm streaming FIFA without my Elgato turned on.
What does it say? No signal.
No, it was just actually, on my stream was actually selected. Does it want to work now, though? There we go, it's working now. My bad. I didn't realise. Everyone was just like watching me talk to you about Star Wars and